laid up today. Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that show. Have a good day. We've all learned a lot, haven't we? Guys, first of all, I'd just like to say g'day and welcome to Hartley's Crocodile Adventures. Welcome to the 3 o'clock attack show. My name's Jesse. I'm one of the Croc dudes here. In my corner, I got Keith and Brody over there. They're my backup in case things go wrong. We decided it's quite important to have an acting guard when we do these Croc shows because over the years of having close calls, we've realised you guys do nothing. Apart from film it, right? I do the same thing. Now this show that we do here, it's definitely what put Hartley's on the map. It's a famous Croc show. We do get in the water here a little bit with this animal and let him attack us all for your entertainment. Doesn't get old, guys. It's always quite entertaining, but we also do try to put a bit of education in there as well. So we'll be talking about how to avoid crocodile attacks, which is quite important. But what we might do straight up is feed him. I mean, you've seen him a little bit already, but we're going to give him a piece of chicken just to break the ice straight up. So I'll just get myself organised here. We'll find him again, shall we?
Got a wing.
Don't worry, guys, you'll know when it goes wrong. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Relax, we're professionals. So I better introduce you to this crocodile. He's a wonderful animal. In fact, he's the best crocodile I've ever worked with. He is the best. The poster child of saltwater crocodiles, this one. He doesn't have to do this show if he doesn't want to. I mean, we can't force him. He's a crocodile. If he doesn't want to partake in this show, he'll sit out there in the deep water and not come over at all. But this crocodile, he won't do that. He'll sit there and lurk back and forward the entire show with seriously bad intentions. Personally, doing this show I think is a fantastic bit of enrichment for this crocodile. He gets to express his hyper-predatory nature every day, trying to kill something. And we will reward him with some chicken. As far as his name goes, it's a fantastic crocodile name. In this industry, you've always got the common names. I mean, who doesn't have a crocodile called Chopper or Godzilla? Everyone's got one of them. But this guy, we put a bit more thought into it. We decided to call him Hagrid. Just like the character of Harry Potter, he's got that big head, and the kids can relate when we do the shows. So it's a cool crocodile name, an original one. Hagrid here is a male saltwater crocodile. He is definitely too big to be a female. With this species, anything over, let's say, 3.5 metres, it's a boy. Now, believe it or not, me and the crew here have measured Hagrid. That's a difficult job, but we can do it. And to our surprise, he was 3.7 metres long. I could have sworn he was bigger. I would have put money on that he was 4 metres for sure, but I would have been wrong. What he hasn't got with the max length, he has got the bulk with his maturity, and that's what makes him look big. He's bulky. He's about 250 kilos in weight, and he's about 30 years old. He's in the prime of his life, old Haggy. He's not the biggest croc that we've got here, but he is big enough to ruin my day. And he's big enough to be impressive for the shows when we do these activities. Now, I have to admit, I'm not entirely sure where he is. I'll just chuck out a few little bits of sand and see where he is. Now, with the common names that they have, oh, I've lost my crocodile. Let's stand over here. With the common names that they have, guys, they are known as saltwater crocs or estuarine crocs or Indo-Pacific crocodiles. But me and the crew, we just call them salties. And the reason for that, we're Aussies. We're lazy of our words, you know. They They are one of two species of crocs that inhabit Australia. We do have a smaller, narrow snout, needle-like teeth freshwater crocodile as well, which we call freshies. Spot on. But out of the two species that we have here in Australia, it's the salties that we love to showcase the most. And the reason for that is pretty simple. They're the biggest. The average size for a male is 4 to 5 metres, and unique individuals will get to 6 metres long, weighing over 1 tonne in weight. They are the largest living reptile on the planet. So not only are they large animals, they are hyper-predatory. And what this means for us, they are extremely dangerous. And throughout the distribution of saltwater crocs, throughout their range, there is hundreds of attacks every year. And you don't just get them here in Northern Australia, you do get the salties in the South Pacific, Southeast Asia, and as far as the east coast of India. So extremely widespread, and within their range, some people have got severe conflict with them, particularly in developing countries, where day-to-day living revolves around water, washing, drinking, surviving, direct conflicts. And a lot of people get killed by them. That is why they have that fearsome reputation. But on a more positive note, they are downright fascinating. People seem to be intrigued by them. Who would have thought? So we utilise that to our own benefit. Yeah, I thought he was there. Sneaky, eh? So we utilise that to our own benefit with people's curiosity, and we establish these tourist facilities revolving around crocs. And who would have thought it is popular? It really is. Now, when it comes to how they attack, they are the masters of the ambush. The element of surprise is how they secure a lot of their prey. I mean, Hagrid's demonstrating this right now. I had a hunch where he might have been then, but realistically, the only thing that's benefiting us here in this environment is we know there's a crocodile in here somewhere. But in the wild, I mean, they're cunning, they're stealthy, and they blend in really well to their environment. They are also quite in tune. They have got excellent senses. Eyes, ears and nose are good for the aerial environment just like us. And what he can do, I mean, he's got heaps of adaptations as well. So what he can do, he can adjust his centre of buoyancy. So at the moment he's sitting flat on the bottom. And what he can do by manipulating the lobes of the air and the lungs, he can just pop up, freaky sort of stuff, and he can do what we call the minimum exposure posture. So the only thing that will be exposed out of the water will be eyes, ears and nose. Anything happening in the water or at the water's edge, daytime or nighttime, he will know about it for sure. So when they pop up, they're typically visual. They're scoping. Really quite good eyesight, particularly in low light conditions. Once they've spotted a prey, that's when they typically duck under and move in closer, underwater, undetected. Now when he's fully submerged underwater, he cannot smell. Eyesight in murky conditions would be poor and hearing would be muffled. But lucky enough for him, millions of years of evolution can only benefit you, right? What he has got is pressure receptors that pick up on the splashings and the vibrations. So me walking along the bank here, I'm sending off vibrations. I'm giving away my position. If you come down into the water and start splashing, even doing this, guys, that is like ringing the dinner bell. It makes me nervous doing that, actually. So when they feel like they're in strike range, they will shoot out of the water, speed and power, and try to latch onto their prey. So we might try to demonstrate that a little bit here. What I'm going to use is the bait rope. This is natural fibred rope with a bit of cowhide on the end of it. Hagrid here, he likes it. It's the tool of the trade. So what we'll do, we'll just try to find him again. He could be here still, guys, but he might have moved in front of the log there. I'm not too sure. We're big on assumptions around here. You are still there. You going to come all the way up? Yeah. A little bit higher. There you are. So you can hear that pressure from the jaws. These are known for being the hardest biting animals in the world. And the bigger they are, the harder they bite. And they have to bite hard because of their teeth. Relax. Salties have got anywhere between 64 to 68 teeth in their mouth. They are big, they are conical, they've evolved purely for gripping. So penetrate, interlock and hold is what they do, and to drive those peg-like teeth home is that immense bite pressure. The popping sound that you hear is the displacement of air. It's not the teeth hitting, they mash. Same concept of us clapping our hands, it's just a displacement of air. So, there was a bunch of American scientists that travelled the globe with a specialised bite pressure gauge, and they were getting readings off various animals. They were measuring things in PSI, pounds per square inch. I think a human was like 90 or 100 PSI. A great white shark was, well, I think that was 690 PSI, almost 700, which is a heavy bite. And a large saltwater crocodile from the Northern Territory, a big one, consistently bit to 4,000 to 5,000 PSI. Nothing comes close to these animals. So once they lock on with those gripping teeth, they don't let go. Even if they've just got a pinch of you, they lock on. They usually do a big U-turn, pull you out in the water, submerge, swim off with you. Drowning is typically how they kill their prey. If I miscalculated in this show and Hagrid actually got me in the water and took me under, in a situation like that, I reckon I'd be a tad stressed. And I'd be lucky to hold my breath for, let's say, 20 or 30 seconds. After that time, no more stress for me, I'm dead. It would be stressful for him too, because I believe in myself, I'm not going to give it to him easy. If he grabs me and takes me out there, I'm going down fighting. And in a situation like that for him, where it's kind of stressful for him involved, he can stay underwater for 30 to 60 minutes, no problem. On a voluntary dive, when they're relaxed, they are renowned for staying underwater for hours on end. We're talking 4 or 5 hours sort of thing. Once they've drowned a prey item, they will eat it. Now these animals are opportunistic and indiscriminate. But one thing that they are, guys, is carnivores. They only eat meat. There is no vegetarian or vegan crocodiles out there. Strict meat eaters. Now naturally they'll predate on the fish, the crabs, the turtles. They will eat the birds around the place. And the larger individuals at this size and bigger will predate on land-based prey items. So your cows, your horses, and the biggest thing that we've seen them take down is the Asiatic water buffalo, which is massive in itself, and crocs will overpower them. If they have something large that they cannot swallow whole, that is where they need to break it apart. And how they typically break it apart is by head shaking. They flick it until something rips off, or they'll do that more traditionally known death roll, the crocodile roll. Have you guys heard of that? Yeah? You guys want to see it? Yeah. I should never give you an option, should I? So we are going to hook him up. We're going to give him the bait rope. We'll see if we can get a few rolls for you. To get this done, it's all about the right positioning here. So we'll just find him again. It's favouring the cage today. You're going to come all the way up for me. Alright, so he's gripped onto my bait. He's trying to pull it out the water. One roll there. Ooh, very nice, he's showing off now. Now he's taking me out for a swim. I told you guys, we're professionals. Big violent rolls. Let's pull him up. You done? Chat amongst yourselves, guys. Really? You're supposed to be fearsome, Hagrid. There you go. So that's the famous death roll, guys. We saw a bit of a bit of a combo there. He started off on the land, he did some violent rolls out in the deep water, and he came in hard at the end by doing the slowest death roll in the world. I was lucky to see that today. And you get the idea. That was the easy part for me. Now I've got to get the bait back off him. That's challenging. What Keith is going to do is just chuck a few bits of chicken feathers in the water, and he'll think about it because he'll try to eat the bait. Think about that, dude. Alright, so what will happen here, Hagrid will try to swallow the bait on the end of the rope, and to swallow that he'll have to bring his head to the surface and juggle it down the back of his throat. When he does that, with my great northern reflexes, I'll just yank it out of his mouth. But I hope you're comfortable because he held on to it till about 8 o'clock one night. It's not time stress for the 340 boat. But this brings me to an excellent question. This is something that we think about a lot around here. What do you do if a crocodile has got a hold of you and how to make it let go? Any suggestions? Scream, that's a given. Tickle it? I don't know about that. Gouge its eyes, I heard. What do you reckon? Kill him? Kids are brutal these days, aren't they? Pretend you're dead. Listen, no one's ever came up with a set strategy of what to do if a croc's got you. No one's came up with a bulletproof sort of plan, you know. As long as you do something. People do often suggest, try playing dead. Please do not do that. You've seen him, right? He's hardcore. Once he bites you, he's going to take you out there and you won't be playing for very long. The suggestions we do get is you punch them in the nose. They have the nasal disc on the end of their snout. I would try that. The other one that we commonly get is the eye gouge. Now I like that one too because I've heard of stories where it's worked. I've also heard of stories where it has not. Which definitely keeps it mixed emotions for me. But one of the stories where it actually worked is a famous one in this industry. It happened a long time ago now, up in Cape York. On the west coast, there's a family camping right next to the water's edge, which is not recommended. The general rule of thumb for camping up here is 50 metres back, 2 metres above the water level mark. That's what's recommended. To be honest, when I go camping, I sleep in the back of my truck. I know what these crocodiles are like. But this family, they're pushing boundaries. In the middle of the night, a big croc, bigger than Hagrid here, walked into the campsite, picked this old lady up off the ground and started to walk back towards the river. But luckily for her, she was not alone. Someone else was there. This guy saw the situation, quick thinking. He tackled the crocodile. He jammed his fingers in its eyes. It worked, spat the lady out. I think he copped a bite himself, but he saved the day. You'd never take that away from him. Very brave and heroic. But when we hear about these stories, guys, us as educators of the crocodiles, we investigate them deeply and we do not sugarcoat the stories. And this guy, I believe, had two significant advantages. One, the crocodile was on land. That will help you out for sure. If the crocodile had hold of her in the water, I believe it would have been a different outcome. But most importantly and more significantly, this crocodile had hold of someone else. That will always favour you.